What's up, YouTube? This is BB, coming at you guys with a Blue Eyes deck profile. Blue Eyes is probably one of my technically oldest decks, because they used to run a normal beatdown deck back when the cards like Ancient Rules was really good. It was nothing but normal monsters, and it was really, well, I mean, I guess it was okay.
Two-man cell battle, dude.
Yeah, man, Heart of the Underdog, all of
Charcoal
that stuff.
Apache.
Um,
Blazing Apache.
It was also the reason why, if you've ever heard of him, it's why Danny Brooks became a good Yu-Gi-Oh player.
True
But
story.
here is the deck profile. First, we run Triple Blue Eyes because you absolutely have to. It's the name of the deck, and it's the most important card in the deck. Next, we run Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon because you also have to run this card at 3. Both of these cards are required at 3. There is no other options. I know this card is really expensive, but you have to run it. This card's pretty cool. If you don't know what it does, so when he's on the field, once per turn during your turn, you can pop one monster on the field. It does not have to be face up. But he can also you can special summon him by simply revealing a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand, but he can only be special summoned once that way, and you have to special summon him like that first before you can special summon him in any other way. It's actually really, really balanced, and I wish it was a little less balanced. But that's a personal nitpick.
Real quick, I mean, didn't Kaiba set the blueprint for how many Blue Eyes you have to play in your deck? Wouldn't you be ashamed of yourself if you weren't playing 3?
I guess not. I guess so. I run 2 Dragon Spirit of White. I actually tried this at 3 for a little while, and it's really good, but the problem is that it's really hard to fit room for it. I'm actually really excited for the new one to come out. I'll probably end up playing that one at 2 as well, just because he's really being able to just negate monster effects permanently is ridiculous. But Dragon Spirit of White definitely at 2. If you don't know what he does, when he enters the battlefield, which he's always counted as a normal monster, by the way, it's when he's in the hand or in the graveyard. But when he hits the field, when he's summoned, just no matter what, normal or special, he gets to banish a spell or trap on the field. And if your opponent controls a monster, you can tribute him to the graveyard and special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand. So the tag out is useful in certain situations, but it's not necessarily the greatest thing ever, but it does come in handy every now and then. Next, we run Triple Sage. Sage is a pretty cool card. I remember when this card was $30. I think he's a little cheaper now, and by little I mean a lot. So when you normal summon him, you get to search for a level 1 tuner, and you can discard him from your hand, target a effect monster you control, send that monster to the graveyard, and then special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. It doesn't have to be regular Blue Eyes, but it can be. To go along with him, we run our Eyes of Blue package. We run Protector with Eyes of Blue, Master with Eyes of Blue, and Maiden with Eyes of Blue. In my opinion, Protector with Eyes of Blue is the most underrated card in the entire Blue Eyes archetype. I finally started seeing more and more people play him, but I have been playing him for so long.
Day 1.
And
Day 1.
I think I tried him day 1, and then I was like, he's not that good. And then I put him back in my deck because I was like,
yeah, maybe a month later you already got back in the deck.
The card is just insane. So what he does is you normal summon him, and when he's normal summoned, you can special summon a level 1 light tuner from your hand. So it doesn't have to be an Eyes of Blue card, but it can be. If you have a Maiden in your hand, you're gonna go off. So then when he's on the field, he doesn't discard from hand like Sage does. But you target another effect monster on the field, you send that monster to the graveyard, and then you special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your hand. So if you have a Dragon Spirit of White just dead in your hand, special summon it out. A vanilla Blue Eyes dead in your hand, special summon it out. Anything you want, you can just special summon it. And then if you have Maiden, Well, that's going to combo. You're going to summon him, special summon her, and then you use his effect, target her, her effect goes off, and they just completely combo off of each other. It is ridiculous. And then on top of that, of course, you can use any of your stones if that's what you want to do as well. So that's just extra things you can do. And when your stones go to the graveyard, you get extra effects. He's just ridiculously good. Master Thighs of Blue, whenever he's normal summoned, you get to grab one of your level 1 light tuners out of your graveyard and put it back into your hand. Then, if he's in your graveyard, you can target one of your effect monsters on the field, send that monster to the graveyard, and then he shuffles himself back into the deck. So he's just infinite recurring for all of your tuners, which is really good. Maiden, if she's targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack by switching her to defense mode. Special summon Blue Eyes White Dragon. Keep in mind, all of these guys are Blue Eyes monsters. She is Blue Eyes White Dragon because she is a very old card. So she summons Blue Eyes White Dragon from the hand, deck, or graveyard. So if she's targeted for an attack, you can negate the attack by switching her to defense mode. If it's a card effect, she just activates. So all of these guys synergize off of each other. That's kind of the point. But that is it for our Eyes of Blue. That's your kind of your main engine for just pumping out Blue Eyes monsters. Which is actually one of the reasons why I actually was running triple Dragon Spirit, was because like you run out of Blue Eyes monsters super fast. It's another reason why I'm also really excited for the new guy coming out, because more Blue Eyes monsters means more fodder, and that is always good. Next, we run triple White Stone of Ancients, and we run 1 White Stone of Legends. I used to run this at 2. I actually was running 2 and 2 of these for a while, and I thought about doing 3 and 2. But honestly, you search your vanilla Blue Eyes so fast that you only need 1 of these. I think you absolutely should always run 1, because it's another tuner. It's more fodder for, your Eyes of Blue guys. He's searchable. You can use him as a card of consonance target. That gives you an additional search, and it's just an extra guarantee to get Blue Eyes to your hand, because you need to have a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. For this guy, his main thing is when he's put in the graveyard, he special summons a Blue Eyes monster from your deck to the field during the end phase. If he's in the graveyard, you can banish it to add a Blue Eyes monster from your graveyard back to your hand. So if your alternative dragons are in the graveyard, you can banish it to get 1 back. Or if your vanilla Blue Eyes is in the graveyard and you have, an alternative dragon in your hand, you can banish him to also get that back to special summon him. So a lot of versatility there. And also don't forget, they're all tuners. So you can always always have access to Synchro 9 plays. Next, we run 1 Effect Failure. Every now and then I think about bumping it to 2, but I mean, it's a casual deck, so it doesn't really matter. He's also searchable off of Sage, which is really cool, and it's just, it's Effect Failure. Negate stuff on your opponent's turn. Pretty good. Next, we've got around 1 Glow Bulb. This is actually a pretty new addition.
It's hideous.
I know, it is in fact common. It's actually the only non-foil card in the entire deck, and I'm looking to change that hopefully soon. So this card, I don't know why it took me so long to put this in, but it is so good, because you can just, most people I think know the combo at this point, because I say the combo. Most people do this to get like your rank 9 play and Cloudcast and all of that. I actually don't play that, and people are gonna call me crazy. I don't really like it. I don't care. I just don't care for the combo. I know it's good. I know what it can do. I like the way I play the deck. If you play it that way, you're not wrong. You do you, and I'll do me. So basically what you can do is Glow Bulb is you can summon it out, sync for 9, and then just play it right back out, because you can take your Synchro guy, summon out another dragon, and then you just sync up again. I use it to go into Crystal Wing. I think it's pretty good. So, which we'll talk about more about that once we get to the extra deck. Next, I do run Archbrave. I run one Archbrave dragon along with a Felgrind, and I run one Goliath. If anything, I would put like. Honestly, it depends on what kind of stuff you're going up against. Goliath right now is really good, just locking stuff out of the extra deck. But he's a turn 1 card. He's a going first card. Felgrind is not a going first card. He's a going second card. So if you're wanting to run a sideboard, I would put him in the sideboard. That way you can know, like, okay, I'm going first, so I've got him. And if you're going second, I mean, unless you're just planning on going second no matter what, then just run him, I guess. But I like to just run both of them because in casual play, you don't really sideboard very much. So I just run them both together. I actually don't like the Goliath play. I know it's really good, but it's super boring. But it is what it is. If you don't know, when he's sent to the graveyard, the next standby phase, he special summons a level 7 or 8 dragon from your graveyard, special summons it to the field. When he's special summoned from the graveyard, you banish a monster from the graveyard or from the field, and he gains attack points times 100 per its level. So if you banish a level 8, he gains 800 attack and defense. If he destroys a monster on the field by battle, you can special summon one of your dragons from, I think it's just dragons, but it might be anything. No, it's a level 7 or 8 dragon from your graveyard onto the field. Goliath just says nobody can special summon from the extra deck except Amorphage monsters. So keep in mind that does lock you out, but on the good side, you can actually tribute him off. I have done that before. I've used him as tribute fodder for Blue Eyes so I can go into my extra deck. That has come up. So don't forget that. That's it for the monsters. For spell cards, we run Triple Melody. There was a while that I ran this at 2, and the reason for that was because you just run out of search targets. But over time, like, the deck, I kind of realized that, like, this deck has brick issues. You gotta run 3. I don't know if there's anybody else out there that's only running 2 of this. I did it for a while. Don't do that. Learn from my mistake. Run this at 3. You need to see it as quickly as possible. Next, we run Triple Return of the Dragon Lords. This card is absolutely staple at 3. Resurrects a level 7 or 8 dragon monster from your graveyard, and you can banish it from your graveyard to keep your dragons from being destroyed by anything for that one instance. So, hella busted. You gotta have it. Next, we run Triple Trade-In because everything, and pretty much everything in the deck is a level 8, so you can always get value out of trade-in. Also run Triple Cards Consonants. I actually thought that I had cut this down to 2, but I guess not, so it is at 3. Because I only run 4 stones, probably don't run this at 3, probably run it at 2. Like I said, I thought I'd already done that, but I guess not. As for what to replace it with, I mean, pretty much whatever you want. Whatever works for you, I guess. Whatever you need for your whatever you need for your local meta or casual scene. Next, we run one Mausoleum of Light. So this is one I don't really see people play, but it's a pretty cool card. So what you can do with this is it allows you to normal summon, have an additional normal summon of a level 1 Light Tuner. So if you want to do like a Crystal Wing play or something like that, that gets you there even faster, so you don't necessarily need Glow Bolt to do that. And then on top of that, you can target one of your monsters, any monster, send from your deck to the graveyard a normal, I think it's a normal dragon. No, it's a normal monster. Any monster from your hand or deck, and then the selected monster gains 100 attack and defense for its level. Also, if it is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you get to search for what is it? Burst Stream of Destruction, which is basically a Regeki if you have Blue Eyes on the field, which I do actually run. It's a nice looking secret rare, if you can see that. Yeah. So this card, it doesn't seem like much, but this card has come in handy, like really in handy, a lot. Even just being able to dump a vanilla Blue Eyes when like I'm not drawing my search cards, I'm not drawing what I need. I can just be like, if I have Maiden in my hand, I can use it to combo off of Maiden and put a Blue Eyes on my graveyard that I can just special summon back out, or I can use a stone to banish it and add it back to my hand, or anything like that. So it is actually really helpful. I don't really see people play it. I mean, I guess I can kind of understand, sort of. I think it's super good. I think it's really underrated. I only run one Dragon Shrine. I see a lot of people run like 2 or 3 of this card. It's not that good. Like, I'm being completely honest. This is not that good of a card. It's good in that, like, you only need to use it once, and you don't even need to use it. It's a nice addition, but it's not that important. In fact, a lot of times, Mausoleum of White does pretty much the same thing that you need out of it. So it's like I just run one, in that it's come in handy a few times for like dumping like Arc Brave or Felgrind or something like that, but that's really the extent of it. We run one Monster Born, one Dragon Revival Rhapsody, and one Soul Charge because it's fucking broken. So Monster Born is Monster Born. Everybody knows what that does. Soul Charge, I think everybody knows what that does. Keep in mind for this card, you gotta have a spellcaster on the field, and you have to summon at least one normal monster from the graveyard. I think they have to be dragons. So you summon a normal monster, which is Blue Eyes, or well, actually I guess you have 2 because the other one counts as he counts as a normal monster in the graveyard. Keep in mind your opponent doesn't take damage after you activate this card, so remember that. It's like card of demise in that way. Then we run Dark Hole. I think I don't have extra Regekis, so I run Dark Hole. I think that's pretty much my reasoning for that. For the extra deck, we run Galaxy Eyes package, monster effects, stealing monsters, overlaying on top of these 2 to pop something, overlaying on top of these 2 to pop something. Keep in mind you can go this guy, or you probably do him, pop something, overlay onto him, pop something. He can't be used for Xyz summoning. I have seen people talk about using him as an Xyz for another one. You can't do that. And then we use Dark Matter, also can't be used for Xyz summoning. Remember that. Don't mess that up. Don't be a cheater. So he actually has some really interesting stuff in that when he's summoned, you dump 3 dragons, your opponent banishes 3 monsters out of their deck. The dragons have to have different names, keep that in mind. But he also has a detach effect that allows him to attack 2 monsters in that turn. There is no restriction on that. So if it's your first turn and you're like, I need to get one of these dragons into my graveyard, you can actually just detach for it and just put that monster in your graveyard. So there's no restriction on that. That has come in handy quite a few times. So that is kind of one of those like little plays that you might want to keep in mind that you can do. Next, we run Hope Harbinger for negating spells. That's pretty much the only real thing that you use with them ever. For Synchros, we run Moonlight, we run Crystal Wing, we run Azure Rise. I've only got one Azure Rise in here right now. I kind of like messing around with different things. We run 2 of this guy. So this is our Synchro setup. So like your kind of combo is that if you Synchro into him, you send him to the graveyard to special summon this, and then you use Glow Up Bolt Synchro into Crystal Wing, and that's pretty much the play. Or if you use Protector, you can do that as well. During your standby phase, you can use him to special summon one of your normal monsters out of your graveyard. He bounces stuff when he bounces like effect monsters when he's summoned. so that's pretty cool because you bounce him out for this. He can when he's synchro summoned, he has to be synchro summoned monster. You tribute him to the graveyard to play out. You can either play him or you can play him. It has to be a light dragon. Neither player can special summon more than one monster at a time. So keep that in mind for these two cards because you cannot special summon. You cannot use this. Can't be activated at all. And soul charge. You can only soul charge for one if he's on the field. I've accidentally done that, so keep that. Just always remember that. You can also negate the graveyard effect. Pretty cool. Very, very helpful. We also run one Twin Burst Dragon because cards like Beals are hard to get over. So anything that can't be destroyed by battle, you just use him, and so if it doesn't kill it, it banishes it. It's freaking amazing. He also can't be destroyed by battle. He can attack 2 monsters a turn. If that monster is not destroyed, you banish it. It's really, really amazing. All it takes is just 2 Blue Eyes White Dragons on the field. You can use alternative because he's Blue Eyes White Dragon on the field. So he's pretty busted. I always recommend running at least 1. We also are currently running Hit Push Shinigami. I run 1. I think there was some instance where I had monsters on my extra monster zone, and I was like, I don't have a way to get rid of these. So I decided to try him out. I haven't really play tested him much, so I can't really determine whether he's good or bad. You can always just exchange him for like another Synchro or something like that, and then we run 2 Linkaribos. Linkaribo's crazy in this deck because if it's not a level 8, it's a level 1, so he's pretty good. And that's it for the deck profile. Hope you guys liked it. And Blue is pretty awesome deck. It's pretty much always relevant to some degree, but it's casual, but it's always relevant. Really good deck. Hope you guys liked it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. See you next time.
Peace out.